Then olfactory pathway. So axon from the olfactory receptor cells gather into about 20 bundles known as olfactory nerves, which pierce the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone and enters the olfactory bulb. So this is a figure of olfactory pathway. So first of all, olfactory receptor cells are stimulated and we learn about how the stimulation of the olfactory receptor cells occurs. So now olfactory bulb. What is the olfactory bulb? So above the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone and below the orbital surface of the frontal lobe on each side, the portion of the brain that projects forward is known as olfactory bulb. Now in the olfactory bulb, there are four types of the neurons are present. First of all, small tufted cell, large mitral cells, periglomerular cells and granule cells. The first two are second order neurons and the last two are interneurons. Olfactory glomeruli. These are a globular formation present in the olfactory bulb where the olfactory receptor cells that synapse with the tufted cell and mitral cells. Each glomerulus that contains a dendrites of about 25 large mitral cells and about 60 smaller tufted cells. The periglomerular cells inhibit the adjacent glomeruli and the granule cells inhibit the mitral and tufted cells. The mitral and tufted cells stimulate the granule cells by releasing the neurotransmitter is glutamate. And the granule cells in turn that causes a inhibition of the mitral and tufted cells by releasing GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid. Now these cells send their axon through the olfactory tract into the CNS. Now while entering into the brain, the fibers of the olfactory tract that are divided into lateral olfactory stria and medial olfactory stria. Now these fibers terminate in the apical dendrites of the pyramidal cells of the olfactory cortex. Now the lateral olfactory stria that projects to the pyriform cortex, amygdala, entorhinal cortex, olfactory tubercle and anterior olfactory nucleus. Fibers from all these areas that project to the orbitofrontal cortex via thalamus, then to the frontal cortex, then hippocampus and hypothalamus and also to the contralateral olfactory bulb. Now sniffing that activates the pyriform cortex. The amygdala that evokes a emotional responses associated with the smell. And entorhinal cortex is concerned with the olfactory memories. Lateral and anterior orbitofrontal cortex of the frontal lobe that is concerned with the conscious perception and differentiation of the odors. However, the olfaction is asymmetrically represented in the orbitofrontal cortex as the right side of the olfactory cortex is bigger than the left side of the olfactory cortex. Now in the lesion of the orbitofrontal cortex, the capacity to discriminate the odor is lost. The medial olfactory stria that projects to the septum and hypothalamus that mediates a various autonomic responses associated with the smell. And olfactory fibers project to the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus that mediates parasympathetic response to smell. For example, secretion of saliva, gastric juice and pancreatic juice during the cephalic phase. Now, sectioning of the anterior commissure that greatly impairs the sense of smell and destruction of one olfactory bulb that produces loss of the smell only on the same side. Now, this is a video of physiology of olfaction.
Process of olfaction, or smelling, begins with hair-like cilia that line the nasal cavity. This lining is called the olfactory epithelium. As air enters the nasal cavity, some chemicals in the air bind to and activate nervous system receptors on the cilia. This stimulus sends a signal to the first-order neurons connected to the epithelial cells. The signal is carried by these neurons from the nasal cavity through openings in the ethmoid bone and then to the olfactory bulbs of the brain. The signals then move from the olfactory bulbs along the olfactory tracts to the olfactory area of the cerebral cortex.
After that, what are the factors affecting the olfaction? So first of all, type of odorant stimulus. If the odorant chemicals are volatile, they are easily transported by the air into the nose and are quickly recognized. A strong odor that has a high lipid or water solubility. Then threshold of the olfactory receptors. The olfactory receptors are extremely sensitive to minute concentration of some of the odoriferous substances. For example, methyl mercaptan, which gives a garlic its odor, can be smelled even a very low concentration. Usually the women are more sensitive to smell than men, and their sensitivity to odor increases further at the time of the ovulation, and the threshold for olfaction increases with advancing age, both for male and female. And also there is an increased sensitivity to smell during the first trimester of the pregnancy, that usually seen in female during the pregnancy period. Then intensity of the stimuli. Humans can discriminate over 10,000 different odors, but their ability to distinguish changes in the intensity of the odor is less significant, and the change in the concentration of the odors must be over 30% to be perceived, compared with a 1% change in the visual system. Then olfactory adaptation. When the olfactory receptors are exposed to continuous stimulus, they adapt very rapidly. And it is well known that when somebody enters a scented room, he becomes aware of the odor. But after some time, the perception of the odor declines and ceases over time. Now, adaptation that occurs due to activation of the cyclic nucleotide gated ion channel by calcium calmodulin complex. When the CNGA4 is knocked out, adaptation is slow. Adaptation also occurs to irritants which excite the common chemical sense. For example, meal workers that adapt to presence of irritants in the atmosphere and tolerate the concentration which can mark sneezing and watering of the eyes in unexposed individuals. Then structural configuration of the odorant. Odoriferous molecules are generally small and contain 3 to 20 carbon atoms. And it is important to note that molecules with the same number of the carbon atoms but different structural configuration have a different odors. Then there are certain reflexes that are associated with the smell sensation. First of all, sniffing. Sniffing that occurs at the arrival of the new odor. Then salivary secretion, then gastric secretion and pancreatic secretion that occurs during the smell of food. Sneezing, lacrimation and in extreme case the respiratory inhibition in response to irritant odors. Chemicals like the chlorine, ammonia, menthol and peppermint that stimulate the naked nerve endings of the trigeminal pain fibers that are present in the olfactory mucous membrane so that this odor produce an unpleasant and burning sensation. Then vomiting that occurs in response to foul smell. Then there are a certain tests for olfaction. Clinically, the sense of the smell is tested by presenting a small bottles containing a familiar odor, for example, asafoetida, clove oil, peppermint oil, to each nostril separately. Then the person is asked to identify the odor with eye closed. The odor should not be an irritating substance like ammonia. It will stimulate the fifth cranial nerve, and this is a qualitative test to assess the olfactory function. Quantitatively, the olfaction is tested by olfactometer. Now, applied aspects of olfaction. So there are a certain disorders associated with the olfaction. So anosmia means inability to smell. Hyperosmia means abnormally acute sense of the smell. Hyposmia, decreased ability to smell. Then presbyosmia means the natural decline in the sense of the smell in old age. Then dysosmia means distortion in the sense of the smell. Then parosmia means distortion in the perception of an odor. Phantosmia means distortion in the absence of an odor or hallucinated smell. Heterosmia means inability to distinguish odors. Olfactory reference syndrome means psychological disorder that causes the patient to imagine he or she has a strong body odor. Then osmophobia, aversion or psychological hypersensitivity to odors. Now we can learn about applied aspects in abnormalities of olfaction. First of all, anosmia and hyposmia. Anosmia means total loss of sense of smell, while hyposmia refers to diminished olfactory sensitivity. Causes of anosmia or hyposmia are, first of all, injuries to olfactory nerves or olfactory bulb in fracture of anterior cranial fossa. Now in intracranial lesion like abscess, tumor or meningitis which may cause pressure on the olfactory tract. Nasal obstruction due to nasal polyp and enlarged turbinates or marked edema of the nasal mucosa in the allergic or vasomotor stimuli. Then atrophic rhinitis. This is a degenerative disease of nasal mucosa that causes anosmia. Then old age. Olfactory threshold that increases with the advancing age. and more than 25% of the humans over the age of 80 have an impaired ability to identify the smell. Then Kalman syndrome. In this condition, the anosmia is associated with hypogonadism. Absence or disrupted function of receptor that is responsible for several dozen of different types of anosmia that is seen in humans. Then parosmia or dysosmia means distortion or perversion of the smell sensation. In it, the person interprets the odors incorrectly and this person complains of disgusting odor. Then what are the causes of parosmia? That includes recovery phase of the post-influenzal anosmia. The probable explanation for this is misdirected regeneration of the nerve. Then intracranial tumor should always be excluded in all the cases of parosmia. Then what is the electro-olfactogram? When an odorous substance gets absorbed onto the olfactory mucosa, the electrical changes are set up. Monophasic negative potential is recorded and that lasts for about 4 to 6 seconds. And this recorded response is known as electro-olfactogram. Now anosmia, that is a temporary condition due to sinus infection or a common cold, but it can be permanent if caused by nasal polyp or trauma. Antibiotics can be prescribed to reduce the inflammation caused by polyps and improve the ability to smell. In some cases, the surgery is performed to remove the nasal polyps. The topical corticosteroids have also been shown to be effective in reversing the loss of the smell due to nasal and sinus disease. Then there are certain unique features of olfaction. So first of all other sensation pass through the thalamus and projected to the neocortex, whereas the smell pathway have a no relay in the thalamus and there is a no neocortical projection area for the olfaction. And its receptor neurons are in direct contact with the external environment. The smell receptors are distant receptors, telereceptors, as well as chemoreceptors, and their adaptation is early and rapid. Short question. How the sniffing helps in olfaction? Then ammonia is never used for testing olfaction in patients with anosmia or hyposmia. Then another question is, an odorant molecule has to be volatile, water soluble and lipid soluble. Why? Then in common cold, sensation of the smell decreases. Why? Now after studying this chapter or lecture, you should be able to know describe the structure and function of neural elements in the olfactory epithelium and olfactory bulb. Then identify the significance of the family of the olfactory receptor genes. Then explain how the odorant receptors are activated and the mechanism by which the signal transduction occurs in this receptor. Then label the component of the pathway by which the impulse is generated in olfactory epithelium and reach the 5 regions of olfactory cortex. Now there are a certain MCQ for all students. First, spatial sensibility differs from general sensibility. So there are 4 options A, B, C and D. After completing all this MCQ, the answer should be displayed in the last slide. Second question is not a feature of common chemical sense. Third question, smell not true is. Olfactory receptor cells not true is. Fifth question, not true of olfactory pathway. Sixth is olfactory cortex not true is. Seventh, how many different odor a human can distinguish? The odor discrimination threshold is dash percentage change in the odor intensity. Role of the higher centers in the olfaction is all of the following except. Then 10th question, not a feature of adaptation of smell. 11th question, smell receptors are located in. 12th question, olfactory receptors are. 13th, type of the cells not present in the olfactory bulb. 14th question, to arouse the sense of the smell, odoriferous substance should be. All of the following sensation have a 3 chains of the neurons except. 16th question, human can distinguish above 2000 different odors and this is possible due to. Not a unique feature of olfaction. So this one is a answer key of all the MCQs. List of reference book, Medical Physiology, Guyton and Hall, then Review of Medical Physiology, William F. Ganong, Textbook of Physiology, Dr. A.K. Jain, Textbook of Medical Physiology, Dr. Indu Khurana, Comprehensive Textbook of Physiology, Dr. G.K. Pal, Understanding Medical Physiology by R.L. Bijlani, Fundamentals of Medical Physiology, Sibyasachi Sirkar, then Prep Manual for Undergraduates by Vicha Joshi. And something is also taken from internet. So